welcome to today's edition of Pegasus Test. On today's edition, we're going to cover dot torture. To put it bluntly, the current availability of ammunition sucks. That's the case, it sucks. Prices are ridiculous, and you have to pay what you pay when you can get it. It's not uncommon, although it's sad to see, 9mm sometimes is $1,000 a case. I've seen AK ammo going for over $500 a case. Whoever thought we would have seen the day back when you could buy a whole spam can case with 2 spam cams in it for $99. Whoever thought the day would come where that would be over $500? Just ridiculous. But it is what it is. I mean, we have to be thankful we can even get ammo sometimes. That being said, with prices so high, how do you practice? How do you get better? Well, one of the things I have found that really helps me and also keeps the ammunition expenditure down to a reasonable level for pistol work is the dot torture drill. Put an example of it here. The dot torture drill is based around one 50-round box of ammunition, and you get to practice a bunch of skills. You see 10 dots and no, you're not launching 5 rounds at each dot. No, there's more to it than that. So let's go through it step by step and why I think this is such a good drill for getting your skills built. Your first dot is 5 rounds freestyle. That means you can shoot it with 2 hands, 1 hand, left hand only, right hand only, you know, however you want, just 5 shots. And the purpose of this is to kind of get the jitters out of your system. You fire 5 shots, you practice your sight alignment, trigger control, breath control, and you got the feel of the firearm you're using, because you may switch up your firearms from time to time. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. Matter of fact, I encourage people to do it. It helps build your overall skill. Moving on to dot 2. Okay, this is 5 shots again, but they're 5 shots one at a time with a reholster. So you start out from the holster, and you can use both hands if you want. Matter of fact, I would encourage you to do so. Fire, get your shot, holster back up. Fire, get your shot, holster back up. Fire, get your holster back up. For 5 shots. And what are you practicing? You're getting draw stroke practice. So you've done what you've done on dot 1, now you've just done it one at a time over here on dot 2. Now dots 3 and 4 work together, and when you do these 2 dots, you're going to do the repetition 4 times, and it's simply you draw on dot 3, fire a shot, transition your sights over to dot 4, and fire your shot. And you're going to do that iteration 4 times, and that's getting you practice from tracking target to target. So 1 shot on 3, 1 shot on 4. Dot 5 is one-handed, strong side only. So if you're right hand dominant like I am, you fire one-handed only using your right hand and get the best hits you can. And they're mean enough to put it on the edge of the paper, so you know when you staple this up to your backer, give a little space so you can see how bad you missed. It's harder than it looks. Now dots 6 and 7 are a repeat of 3 and 4, but you're going to do 2 shots per dot. So you Draw from the holster, aim in on dot 6, 2 shots, transfer to dot 7, 2 shots, and reholster. And you also do this iteration 4 times. So you're going to expend a total of 16 shots on this one. So if you've loaded your magazines to capacity like I suggested at the beginning, you're probably going to encounter a reload here if you haven't already, or elsewhere in the drill, depending on the type of firearm you're using. And if you're using a single stack firearm, you're definitely going to encounter reloading here. Matter of fact, even if you're using a single magazine out of, say, a Beretta 92, you don't have enough rounds in the mag. You know, it's not until you start getting to 17 plus round magazines that you're going to have enough rounds to shoot this whole drill without a reload. Then we're on to dot number 8, and it's just like dot number 5 except the other hand. That's right, dot 5 was your strong hand, dot 8 is your weak hand. And this is where it gets extra humbling because once again they put it on the side of the target, so when you miss the complete target. You can't even say I kept all rounds on paper. But it gives you practice using your left hand. Now, unlike number 5, which started from the draw, this just, you put it in your weak hand and be ready to go. Now, just like on dots 3 and 4 and 6 and 7, 9 and 10 work together. And in this drill, you have to set up your gun in a special way. So when you go into this one, you have a round in the chamber and put an empty magazine, which you should have at least 1 or 2 by this point, into the pistol, holster up. Put your extra rounds in a different magazine into your magazine holder, be that on your belt, your chest rig, your pocket, laying on the table, however you're choosing to do it for this particular drill. And what you do is you draw, fire 1 shot on number 9, you'll encounter slide lock, drop the magazine, new magazine in, and fire that 1 shot onto dot 10. And then you reset the drill up and do it 2 more times for a total of 3 iterations. Now, once you've completed your 3rd iteration and put your shot right into number 10, you've expended 50 rounds. Now, what have you done with these 50 rounds? Well, you've practiced basic marksmanship, you've practiced your draw stroke, you've practiced transitioning targets, you've practiced strong hand shooting, you've practiced multiple shots per target with a transition, you've practiced weak hands shooting, plus you've also practiced target transition with a reload. Not bad for 50 rounds. My general practice with this is once a week I try to get to my local range and do this drill with about 100 rounds. Even that's getting difficult in the current ammo situation, but that's what I strive to do, and I have found that this drill has been excellent for helping develop skill, and I've used it to great effect in matches. Particularly the one that sticks out in my mind most was Desert Brutality 2019. There was a stage where you had to hit some clays during it, and yeah, the clays and the setup was just like dot torture. At what distance should you shoot dot torture? Well, when I was first introduced to this back in the 2000s, we did the drill literally at 3 yards. Yeah, 3 yards, 9 feet. And people had trouble with that, and even then the first time I shot it at that distance, it was humbling. Now I tend to shoot it at 6 meters, 7 yards. mainly because I find further than that, the dots get so small that they're completely obliterated by the front sight post of the pistol. So I kind of just shoot it at that, because anything further, you're not really aiming, you're kind of guessing where the target is, and there's no real advantage to that in my opinion. So that's the distance I normally practice at, 7 yards. But, you know, move it around to your skill level and your confidence level. You know, when you get to the point doing it at 3 is really good, start pushing it back. There's technically a time limit to this drill, and I've heard many different instructors say different times how fast you should complete it. I disagree with that. This is building mechanics and skills, and take all the time you need. You know, just the fact that you're going to have to stop occasionally and reload magazines, unless you have a great magazine collection and you can have a set for each iteration, by all means do that if you can. But if you don't, you know, just take the time, load your magazines to either capacity, or load them up for exactly the rounds you need for the particular dots you're shooting on, and just take your time doing it. I have found in my personal experience that the last 2 dots take the longest to do, and that's mainly because I've dropped a magazine, I've reloaded, which takes time, and then I got to set the drill up, which means pick up my magazine, put the empty back in, get the one out of the gun that has rounds back into a magazine pouch, yada yada yada. How do you get this target? Because you've probably gone into your local range or gun shop and never seen it anywhere. That's where our friend the internet comes in. Go to your favorite search engine, type in .torture, it'll pop up. The PDF is usually free to download. Print off as many copies as you want. I tend to, since I know I'm going to shoot it twice, when I go to the range, I take 3 copies with me. 2 I paste up side by side, so I don't have to waste time posting another one when I finish the drill once to shoot it the second time. And the third one I just lay down on the bench table or on top of my range bag, so when I need to know what dot I'm shooting, what I have to do on that dot, I can just quickly look down and reference it. So if I'm on dot 5, it's like, okay, strong hand only, right, boom, shoot that thing. I want to double check what I'm supposed to do for 6 and 7, look down, see it, and that's how I tend to do it. Whatever you do, as long as you're getting the training out of it, that's perfectly fine. You do not have to replicate what I do by any means. Dot torture is a fun drill. In the beginning, it lives up to its name. It is definitely torture. But as your skill set improves, you start to see how it helps your general shooting overall, and the fact that you get to practice so many things with so few rounds is definitely friendly to the wallet. One of the things that's obvious about dot torture is that it's clearly intended for an auto-loading pistol. It can be done with revolvers. You have to change up the round count a little bit based on the type of revolver that you have, and we're going to cover that in a future video. We hope you found this video about dot torture helpful and informative. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and tune in for future pistol training techniques.